Hey guys, I'm Steph, and I'm a alcoholic.
Hi, Steph.
And today I am here in a little bit more of a private setting. I'm in my bedroom, as you can see from the literal bed behind me. That is where I sleep. And today for you guys, I have something a little bit more laid back, something that, is easy, something cute, something fun, something that I haven't told a lot of people, but some people that I still talk with are involved. So I'm gonna be talking about my first clubbing experience and how I got left alone in the club. So I'm gonna try to do this all in one take, and I'm hopefully not gonna miss any details, but yeah, so this happened back when I was maybe freshly 18 but not so fresh. Think February of 2022. So I was in the whole new year new me vibe, kind of figuring myself out, and I decided, oh, it's the perfect time to go to a club. Why not? I don't really remember how everything was set up, but I just remember that I had something to do earlier that day, and I ended up showing up a little bit late to the club. I'm gonna make fake names for everybody in the story. So we're gonna have Curly, was at the time one of my closest friends, along with Blonde, and then Brunette is gonna be Blonde's boyfriend. So it was the four of us being part of the main group, and the three of them, were already waiting in line for the club, like to buy their tickets. But the lines were pretty big, and I was able to make it, like while they were still in line. So I just ran up to them, was like, hey guys, I'm here, blah blah blah, all the little huggies, got all that shit out of the way. You have the ground floor outside, which is kind of like a little cafe during the day, but during the night that gets turned into kind of like a smoking area for the people that are clubbing downstairs in the basement. So we were going down to the basement, and we were passing through a lot of people, lots of smoke, and we enter, we hear Katy Perry singing. It was like a Y2K theme, if I'm not mistaken. Funnily enough, I look a little bit Y2K, I feel like, but definitely didn't look like this back then. Hi, you dumb fucking bitches. Oh my god, that was so aggressive. Okay, hi guys. Even though it's only 2 years ago, you'd be fucking surprised what 2 years does to a motherfucker. We got inside, we were dancing, we were chilling. Prior to going out, I took a couple shots because I was like, okay, like I need to still be a little tipsy, like I can't just go sober, like it's gonna be weird, I thought it would be weird. And also I didn't want to spend money in the club, but I was already feeling very sobriety, I was feeling very sober life, and I was like, I ain't having none of this. So my friends are walking towards the bar, and I'm just like I go to Curly, because I know Curly is also like trifling as fuck, just like I was back then. And I was like, hey, I don't really feel like spending a lot of money tonight. Like, I don't really feel like going for a drink from the club. And she's like, well, what time is it? And I check my little phone, but I'm filming with my phone, so I'm just gonna check my clock. I'm like, oh, it's 10:30. She's like, oh my god, guess what? The grocery store next to the club is still open. So at that point, I think we met up with two new girls. Let's call them the twins. They're not twins, they're not related, but it doesn't matter. They were just hanging around each other the whole night. Me and Curly ended up going to the grocery store. So at this point, it was the four of them, Blonde, Brunette, and the twins, and me and Curly going to the grocery store. While we're going to the grocery store, we're catching up on shit. I'm telling her about my life, she's telling me about her life. And then we pop into the grocery store and we buy the most vile bottle of like off-brand vodka and like off-brand Red Bulls. I think we spent a total of like 10 euros for both of us, and it was literally more than enough to get us drunk. Like I think threw out like a quarter of the bottle because we were like, nah, like this is already too much. I think I had a little bit less than she did, because otherwise I do not explain where the story is going. But regardless, let's just say she probably had more than that to drink. I'm pretty sure she went to the bar a couple times after that. I am remembering details as we speak. But yeah, we were literally out drinking in public, right? So this is where, like, one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys comes in. Don't drink in public. It is embarrassing. Like, given that it was like it wasn't that dark outside and it was really warm, families were just out there, just having a fucking walk, you know, and we were just like downing off-brand vodka and Red Bull in the street. And it's just like not a cute vibe to go for, especially if you try to hold yourself up to like a certain standard when it comes to like what people think of you, the way you look, the way you present yourself. Definitely not saying you should give a fuck about any of that, because bitch, I don't. But it's just about self-respect, I would say. In this case, it definitely gets into that region of, do you want to do this because you respect yourself, you know? At the time, I kind of didn't, so I was just like going along with whatever. So we're drinking, whatever, we're downing shots literally like by the second, and then we go back to the club. I'm feeling fine. I'm like dizzy and like whatever, like I'm like accidentally staring at people and shit, but she was kind of like wobbling around, just like acting all crazy, so she definitely had more than I did. But regardless, then we bounced back with everybody else, and we're like, yeah, whatever, we just like, yeah, you know, just drank a lot, and they're like, haha, good for you, period, blah, blah, blah. We, at some point, just get on the fucking tables, and who do I see across the fucking club? I see a guy that I used to talk to on Instagram for about 2 weeks, but he, like, I didn't recognize him at first. I was just looking at him because he was hot, but then I was like, oh my fucking god. I was putting the puzzle back together. I was like, there's no fucking way this is the guy that I used to talk to on Instagram. And why I didn't recognize him is because like back then I was male presenting, so I was like, yeah, I'm probably the masculine one in the like relationship. This motherfucker was taller, bigger, and more chiseled than I thought he was. Like, he was like 6 foot fucking 2, beard, fucking curly hair, and everything going on. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like looking him up and down. I was up on the tables, right? He was almost as tall as I was. I was like, there is no motherfucking way in hell. So then I was staring at him accidentally for like a good fucking 30 seconds. And he caught me, and I was staring for so long that he was literally just like, and I was like, fuck. Like, just kind of like looked down. I was like embarrassed and shit, just turned around to my friends. Took a couple videos, which were so fucking awkward. Honestly, if I can find them, I will literally put them here. So then yeah, after that, I think, you know, there's a bubble of time where nothing really happens besides the alcohol bubbling up in Curly's body apparently. But then at some point, they decide to go for a smoke. I didn't smoke at the time. Like, I think I've never had a full cigarette by that time. So I was just like, oh, okay, I'll wait for you guys right here. And now it was me and the twins, because the twins both had like electronic cigarettes that they could just like have inside, and the others just had actual tobacco. So they had to pull out, you know, they had to go to the back, go have a little smoke break. So during this time, there were like a couple good songs, you know, we were just dancing. I was getting to know the twins because it was the first time I was meeting them. Then we ended up, yeah, after a while, I was just like, okay, where are my friends though? Like, I think like 7 to 10 minutes passed, and a bitch knew how to calculate a cigarette. Like, I wasn't a smoker back then, but I knew how long a cigarette should take. So I started calling them, and I start with Curly, and Curly's not picking up. So I'm like, okay, I'll call Blonde. Blonde doesn't pick up either. So then I call Brunette, Blonde's boyfriend, and he's like, yeah, hi, da da da. Cannot hear him at all. So I screaming to the phone like, hey, cannot hear you, I'll text you on WhatsApp. So then I start texting all of them being like, hey, where are you? I'm still inside. And Curly replies with something like, pick up your phone. And I was like, bitch, I just told you to text me. Why am I not getting a text, right? Like, why are you telling me to fucking pick up the phone? And then after that, they called me again. So I picked up the phone, could not hear them. Mind you, I was in the middle of the crowd and I was with the twins. So if I was gonna leave the twins, I was gonna be fully on my own. And I, trust me, did not want to fucking do that. So I was like, okay, that's last case scenario. Like, me leaving the twins is last case. I don't want to do that. So then while I'm texting them and while I'm like not hearing their calls, I tell the twins like, hey, I don't know what the fuck is going on. My friends are not picking up. They're not doing anything. They're not saying shit. So they're like, oh, what the fuck? So I'm like, do you guys want to go outside? Like, check for them. They're like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. So then I literally go outside and I start checking for them and I start calling, right? I start again with Curly. Curly's not picking up. I call Blonde. Blonde is not picking up. I call Brunette. Brunette's not picking up. And I was calling Brunette like a lot more because I was like, okay, by far out of everybody, he's the most sober. And I end up calling fucking Curly again. And Blonde starts speaking into the phone. And I'm like, where the fuck are you? It's like, what is going on? I'm checking outside for you. I can't find you anywhere. And they say, oh, we're in an Uber. Curly didn't feel that well, so we ended up taking her home. And I'm just like, excuse me? I am literally a 1 hour walk away from home. It is past midnight. There is no public transport that I can take. And you just left me alone in the club. And now I also lost the twins. And I'm just like, oh, I love this. Like, thank you so much. I don't remember what I said on the phone. I think I kind of just like hung up and I was just accepting my fate and I was like ready for that 1 hour walk. And mind you, do you know the meme with the girl who ate without YouTube? Bitch, I was the girl who was walking home with no headphones. It was that fucking horrible. Literally hospitalized for that hour. Like, I was alone with my own thoughts, and I think at some point I started fucking vlogging or something. Again, if I find any footage, I will put it in the video, but I'm not sure that I will because I think I've switched like 2 phones since then. After that call, I ended up heavenly running into the twins again, and they were like, hi, did you end up finding them? I was like, no, they're in a fucking Uber. And they're like, what the fuck? Kind of sharing my, like, empathizing with me and like understanding what I'm going through. And so I was like, yeah, you two are real bitches. So we literally started walking together for a little bit, and then they ordered an Uber, and then I was like, oh, where do you guys live? And they both live in neighborhoods that are very far away from mine, as in like literally the opposite side of the city. So I was like, right, okay, I am walking home alone tonight.
Asta fac. Sunt pe stradă. Nu este pentru mami în absolut niciun caz. Hello! Deci au plecat cei cu care venisem și am rămas cu persoane pe care le cunosc, care au venit de asemenea cu cei cu care am venit.
So I waved them goodbye. I waited for their Uber to get there. I did the right thing, of course, always. And then after that, you know, just started walking home. And bitch, I felt crazy. Like, I don't think I cried. I don't think I had any sort of reaction, but I was furious because that could have been easily avoided, right? Like, literally just text. If they texted me that they were taking the Uber and it was an emergency, I'd have been absolutely okay with it. But mind you, it wasn't even an emergency. Like, all of us ended up talking about it, and like, we're fine now. I still talk to them. It's okay, but still, it's just the fact that like it was my first clubbing experience, my first real clubbing experience, and I get left alone in the club. It just normalized it for me. So then I was always expecting that, which is fucked up because now being here where I am right now, I have people that care about me when I'm clubbing, people that check up on me, people that make sure that I get home safe, and that was something that I didn't have back home. So yeah, you know, it's definitely like first impressions matter so much, but always keep an open mind. But still, moral of the story, don't really like fully trust anyone, and if you do, like, make sure you stick to their fucking side if you are out there clubbing. I feel like the main topic of this channel, although is fun without alcohol, it is very important to understand that I'm not here to force anybody to stop drinking, but the best I can do is to provide you with stories as to why you should be safe while drinking. Like, the mocktail video that I did is not supposed to tell you, like, don't drink alcohol when you're out networking. It's kind of just like this is something I wish I did instead of drinking. Like, this is something that I wish I would be doing because it's healthier for me. You don't get embarrassed. There's no sort of situation in which you would say the wrong things. And if you do, then at least you know it wasn't because of the substances and you're just a stupid bitch. I'm not trying to convince anybody not to drink. This was just a little story time of what happened to me one of the first times that I was drinking. And yeah, it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was something a little bit different than what I have you guys used to, I guess. Like something more action-packed. But yeah, don't worry, that might be coming back next week. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, thank you for watching.